Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Surprise Jab Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Ruger, surprising with new topics every single weekend, jabbing you with your daily dose of UFC. And we're coming fresh off of a massive weekend for TKO. Not only did we have UFC 317, which may just be the best UFC pay-per-view of the year, but we had WWE Night of Champions, which could be up there for one of the best WWE PLEs of the year. The TKO holding group doing well this weekend, loading up to end out June. And as we head into July, we're going to talk about both of these events and what they mean for the future of each promotion. Also, I have a new TV series review. Me and Lexi absolutely binged the Pitt these last few days. And let me just tell you, it is a fantastic show. 15 episodes, must check out. We're going to be talking about that on today's episode as well, kicking things off with new UFC fights. There's a lot been going on, guys. I recently saw that EA is bringing back a college basketball game. I've been trying to weed myself off of the video games, but if that comes out, I may have to become a part-time streamer, for goodness sakes. Make some YouTube videos. Who knows, but lots of exciting stuff going down. A lot of big NBA trades, NFL trades. I saw Jalen Ramsey going to the Steelers, Cam Johnson and Michael Porter Jr. being swapped between the Nuggets and Nets. I don't know, whole bunch of baloney, but we ain't here to talk about none of that today. We're here to talk about a lot of UFC, a little bit of WWE, and even a little TV show recap. So let's get right on into it with episode 202 of the Surprise Jab Podcast. And with the majority of our episodes, we talk about new UFC fights, new updates in the rankings. No updates in the rankings yet, as I am recording this Monday, June 30th. The rankings will update July 1st, but we do have a bunch of new UFC fights to discuss with you all in order of being announced. Let's start it off. First off, UFC Shanghai officially has your main event, Johnny Walker, Zhang Mingyang. This had been rumored. We were waiting for this, and yes, it is happening. The number 12 and number 14 light heavyweights going to do battle, and I love this. I love this. And, you know, I'm not trying to hate on Petr Yan versus Davison Figueiredo when we were in Shanghai last year, but I will say it is nice to have an actual Chinese fighter headlining a Chinese card. And if Zhang Mingyang wins this, it's going to take him to stardom levels. Johnny Walker, this is also a good matchup for him to bounce back, to get back in the win column since being knocked out by Volkan Ozdemir. Now, I can't lie, Zhang Mingyang is probably not the best opponent as he packs some unbelievable punching power. Zhang Mingyang also boasts a very impressive 19-6 record, and all 19 of those wins have came by finish. I think he has 17, 15 knockouts or something. He's a knockout machine, 3-0 in the UFC, all finishes. Zhang Mingyang, Johnny Walker, main eventing in Shanghai, China. And you want to know what the co-main event is? Do you want to know what two gentlemen are going to Shanghai, China? How about the number 6 and the number 9 ranked featherweights, Brian TCD Ortega and Aljamain Sterling? What a fun matchup. What a super fun matchup. And Brian Ortega looking to bounce back from his loss to Diego Lopez, which has aged pretty dang good if you ask me. And as for Aljamain Sterling, dude lost to Movsar Evloev last time out. Let's not act like Movsar Evloev should be getting a title shot. That makes no sense. He has to fight Aaron Pico. That makes no sense to me. But this is a fantastic matchup. And I think the main question is, can Brian Ortega overcome the grappling of Aljamain Sterling? And can Aljamain Sterling overcome the submissions of Brian Ortega? That's going to be the big deciding factor here. And Brian Ortega, it feels like he's in the latter part of his career, but oddly enough, Aljamain Sterling is older than him and might actually be entering the latter stages of his career as well. 16-5 UFC record for Funk Master, and for T-City, 8-4 record with a no contest. So we're going to be getting a good matchup there in Shanghai. The main event and co-main event are very strong. UFC 318 in New Orleans, which is, let me just tell you, not strong. They released the main card for that. The co-main event is that Dan Ige Patricio Pitbull fight. I mean, what are we doing? We also have Ateba Gaudier, who, by the way, is a knockout artist, taking on Robert Valentine, who was just knocked out. And actually, no, Robert Valentine just lost to, did he lose to, it was the grappler. Oh my gosh, Torres Fiddy, that's who he lost. So UFC 318 is just in rough shape. But prelim bout here, heavyweight divisions, Ryan Superman Spam looking to run it back after losing to Waldo Cortez Acosta. So let's not act like the last guy Ryan Spann lost to he's now the number 6 heavyweight in the world. Makes no sense. He's taking on Lucas Brzeziak, the Bull. He's 1-5 in the UFC. I have no idea how he's still in the UFC. Winner, this is getting cut. The loser, this is getting cut. The winner can stay for all I care. Road to UFC in Shanghai, China. Mind you, the road to the UFC is super weird because it's technically under the UFC banner, but it's not technically your debut. But in a weird turn of things, Ray Tazura, who, by the way, his only professional loss is to Joshua Van. That's right, the number 1 flyweight in the world now, or second best besides Pantoja. He's fighting on here. You know, he won his UFC debut against Carlos Hernandez and then loses Josh Van. They're like, we're actually going to have you go fight on not even an official UFC promotion. I don't even know how to explain it. There's probably a technical term, but he's taking on another guy who's been on the road to the UFC and has had a UFC fight, Niam Dragal Turdembaro. That is right, the one with the goofy name who lost the last time we were in Shanghai. It makes no sense. I have no idea what they're doing, but this is going down the day before UFC Shanghai. It is very perplexing. I think there's actually another matchup that they're also having where it's with fighters who are already in the UFC. So goofy. July 26th, UFC Abu Dhabi, which is looking to be the best fight night of the summer as a featherweight matchup, as Muhammad Yaha back in action, looking to get his first UFC win. He's 0-2, takes on Stephen Wynn. Stephen Wynn, 0-1 in the UFC, did win on Dana White's Contender Series against AJ Cunningham, but that's not saying much. Stephen, absolute dog, did lose his UFC debut, but it was in a fight of the night. I'm excited to see this one. The winner of this will be looking upwards for career trajectory. The loser will probably just have a bit of lower stock for their next one. UFC Abu Dhabi also has a fun matchup in the bantamweight division as Davy Grant is back. Oh my gosh, it's been forever since we've seen Davy Grant. My goodness, takes on Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear coming off a massive win last time out. I can't remember. They beat Cody Stamann, Cody Gibson. He beat someone last time. I think it was Cody Gibson. If I'm not mistaken, he finished him. But yeah, let me just tell you, Damon Blackshear definitely should be beating Davy Grant. This is a great name for Damon Blackshear to take on. And be wary, the rankings are coming for Damon Blackshear. I can feel it. I think the winner of this one should take on Pak-Chi Mix. That's my opinion. This is a good matchup, though, and you should keep your eyes on this one. UFC Paris has a fun one here. Light heavyweight division. Omar Sy back after losing his first professional fight to, Alonzo Metafield, taking on Brenson Ribeiro. Brenson Ribeiro, 2-3 in the promotion. He's been all right so far, and if I'm not mistaken, Brenson Ribeiro lost last time out to someone good. Was it Asmat Becca? He lost to... They did my boy dirty. It was Asmat Mirzakhanov, I actually think. Yeah, it was Asmat. He took him out on short notice, and dude got brutally knocked out. To no one's surprise, but happy he's back in here, getting another shot. And Omar Sy, good bounce back fight for him. I'll be curious to see what goes down in this one. And the last official fight, also on that UFC Paris card, Shauna Mama B. Bannon back in action. The Irish lad takes on Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes is the definition of a mid fighter who just manages to get by 5-5 so far at the UFC. I'm not trying to be mean, Sam Hughes. You would beat me up, but I'm just saying perplexing matchups all around. But I do think that the UFC is heading in a good spot with all their fights for the rest of the year. Now, as for some of these cards, because let me just tell you about two different cards here. So we'll start with the bad. So there is a bad card, and here is the UFC 318 main card I want to talk about. This is, by the way, this is the $90 that you pay to watch. This is official. UFC 319 in Chicago still loading up. UFC 318 is just about made. Kicking off the main card, Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. That's right, it is the year 2025. Halfway through the year, Michael Johnson is opening a pay-per-view main card. Insane. Next up, Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. That's a pay-per-view worthy fight. Will it happen? I doubt it. Paulo Costa, the Pullout King, but glad that's happening. Then Ateba Gaudier versus Robert Valentine. I don't care if one of them is from the region. That is insane. That is insane that is on a main card. After watching what we got for UFC 317, the bar should be high for pay-per-views. In the co-main event, yeah, Danny Gay, Patricio Pitbull. What? That's main card worthy, but co-main event, what? And even I think Dustin Poirier acknowledged, yeah, it's a pretty weak card for my retirement fight. But I mean, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier should be good. I hope if the fights deliver, it's something. But the fact that it's just not loaded up is pretty depressing. Now, on the other hand, here's your UFC Abu Dhabi main card. Main card right away. Nikia Krylov, Bogdan Guskov, top 15 light heavyweights. Shara Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Marc-Andre Barriault coming off a nasty knockout of Bruno Silva. Literally sent him packing from the company. Shara Magomedov, beloved in that region. Then, how about Bryce Mitchell, Seidner, Magomedov, two of the best unranked grapplers in the division with sneaky striking as Bryce Mitchell makes his bantamweight debut. Then, how about the number 2 bantamweight on the planet, taking on the number 13 bantamweight, Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Love it. Movsar Evlov. That is right. The number 4, it might be number 5 ranked featherweight on the planet, takes on the debuting Aaron Pico. In the main event, Robert Whittaker, Andy Ritter. That is how you properly do a main card. UFC Abu Dhabi, so happy for that. UFC 318. You know what? I'm not going to say I'm going to illegally stream it. I would never do that, Dana White, but I'm certainly not going to be buying it. Let me tell you that. But yeah, that's all your new UFC fights that you need to be aware of. Lots of fun, entertaining stuff all around. Pretty hectic. I'll tell you something else that is pretty hectic, and that is the emergency rooms in hospitals. And I was just so overjoyed to have watched this show, which greatly encapsulates it. It has an 8.9 out of 10 on IMDb with 55,000 reviews. This is just 82% on Google users, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's right, The Pitt. The Pitt is a fantastic show. It shows the daily lives of healthcare professionals in a Pittsburgh hospital, and it has been regarded by medical professionals as one of the more accurate tellings of what it is like. And I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she's talking about all these different terms they're using and medicines and stuff and procedures, and she's like, I literally talk about those in my medical classes because she's going to be a doctor. So The Pitt, amazing, simply amazing. The main lead in the show is Noah Wild, most known for The Librarian. You also have Taylor Dearden in this, Patrick Ball, who's pretty much making his debut for acting, but Catherine Vanessa, Sean Hatoiza, Isa Briones, Fiona Dorif, Tracy Ayacho, a lot of unknown names pretty much, and they play such good roles. Like, it's generally so believable that they're doctor stuff. Like, I have to take, like, once I was done watching an episode, I had to kind of take a step back and go, okay, I'm not actually watching these people. This is actually a show. And the plot twist, the shock from here, it's so unexpected. And the emotion, like, there is just some heartfelt things in here. There is death in this show, and it just really encapsulates everything. And the best highlight of this, 15 episodes. It tells one shift for these doctors from 7 to 9 o'clock. That's their shift. It might be 7 to 10, actually. I think they went 7 to 10. That's what it was. Yeah, 7 to 10. I mean, amazing. It gets a 9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10. Really, this was a fantastic show, and I'll say it gets better as it's going. You never really know what the climax is going to be, and when it gets there, you're like, dang, okay, and they have this massive, I won't spoil anything because I really want everyone to experience this, because you kind of go in and, first episode, it kind of gets you intrigued, and then they just start off right off the bat with, like, yeah, someone just dies, and then another person dies, and you have these stressful procedures, and this is just the daily lives of these people, and the show ends, this isn't really a spoiler, and they all just go home, and it's like, see you tomorrow. It's wild. It's really wild, and I highly recommend it. The Pitt. They're making a season 2. Season 2 comes out January 2026, and it's about 4th of July weekend. I'm here, and yes, The Pitt. It's on HBO Max. I don't know if you can watch it anywhere else, but yeah. As far as I can tell you, everything about it feels so real. And no bad acting. Like, everyone, I believe they're a doctor, I believe they're a nurse, I believe they're a patient. It's graphical, it's real, it's hard, and it is an experience. And you'll watch one episode, you'll be like, hey, maybe one more. Then you're like, it's been 10 hours, and I've been through a 10-hour shift with these people. But yeah, check it out. The Pitt, highly recommend. It's called The Pitt because it's like the bottom of the hospital. It's also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so a lot of fun little Easter eggs there as well. Now, tell you something else, guys, where you can get Easter eggs, and that's watching WWE. That's right, WWE is for all of my hardcore fans. That doesn't make sense. No, what am I saying? If you watch WWE Night of Champions was this past weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and we were blessed with six matches. Thank you, Triple H. Thank you so much. And, the entire theme of Night of Champions is that you put championships on the line. And on this card, there were, in fact, only 2 championships on the line. Now, we did have the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament finals, so I guess you were crowned champion in that regard. But, I don't know, they kind of missed the ball by not having a lot of title matchups on here. I know some happened with Dominic Mysterio, and they had matches on the SmackDown before, but interesting stuff all around. But yes, let's get right into it and talk about what happened on Night of Champions 2025 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And the first thing I want to say, this crowd, amazing, guys. Let me tell you, if you don't watch WWE, they started going to Saudi Arabia around 2018, and the crowd sucked. They used to just not cheer. They used to just all sit there, a sold-out stadium, sit there and just watch, pop for maybe the big guys, but now they're waving flashlights, they're singing the wrestlers' names, they're just cheering when big moments happen, and the Riyadh crowd was fantastic. And we kicked things off for the evening with the King of the Ring tournament final, the men's, and it was very interesting that they chose to open with this. Now, I see why they did, because the winner of this was going to see who they were going to face, whoever won the main event, but Cody Rhodes taking on Randy Orton went just under 20 minutes, and this was great. this was great, and this was everything we could have asked for. Now, I will say these two definitely have a feud coming up for the championship, or even not for championship, but you are going to see a heel Randy Orton taking on a face Cody Rhodes in a mentor versus teacher type of matchup here. But Randy Orton, man, I'll tell you, the crowd was loving him, singing his theme song. Cody Rhodes, a star over the globe, and this was good. This was good. A lot of RKOs. I will say the RKO, for being such a powerful, dangerous move, most dangerous move in sports entertainment, should be just called the most out of nowhere, all right, move. Because, I mean, Cody Rhodes got hit with 3, 4, and kept kicking out of them. And I think Randy Orton got hit with 1 or 2 crossroads, and that was that. So I will say it was kind of wasn't lackluster finish, but it was kind of just like the RKO just isn't as useful. But a lot of good moments in this. Cody Rhodes always takes big bumps, and yeah, Cody Rhodes wins the King of the Ring tournament. He is now King Rhodes, King Cody, and he'll take on, not to spoil what I'm going to say, but you should have already watched it or seen the results, John Cena in the main event of SummerSlam, unless we do something else. But as of right now, John Cena and Cody Rhodes will be rematching, and yeah, Cody Rhodes, Cody Hogan, he's the top guy in the company. Don't be surprised he's always winning, but I will say he didn't need to win King of the Ring to get back at John Cena. He just could have gotten a John Cena match at SummerSlam. WWE just likes to give accolades to some of their guys. But yes, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, great way to kick off the card. And you saw a bit of Randy Orton, maybe trying to be sneaky, maybe looking to be devious, but kind of pulled it back a bit, then going a little heel, pull it back. So when these two inevitably have their feud, it's going to be so freaking good, because they're both faces right now, just so you're aware. Following that, we had women. We had 2 women's matches in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez street fight, 14 minutes. It was the 3rd longest match of the night besides the opener and the main event. And let me just tell you, one of the more surprising good matches of this card, a street fight out of nowhere with 2 women in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Should it work? Crowd was loving it. Massive spots. The ending of Rhea Ripley on the top rope on top of a table, hitting her with her finisher, which is essentially like a power bomb to the mat. Oh my goodness. And Raquel Rodriguez, you are pretty dang good. I was not familiar with your craft. One half of the women's tag team champions now with Roxanne Perez, and yeah, showing out in this one, Rhea Ripley earning herself a world championship opportunity with this win, I'm pretty sure. And yes, super surprising. This was made last minute. This wasn't even supposed to be a thing, and I'm so happy they did. So whoever produced this match knew what these two were capable of and allowed them to do this to the fullest, and this was phenomenal. This was utterly phenomenal, and 2 for 2 to start the night. Things were going good. Then, Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. Now, I get some people had a problem with this match because Karrion Kross lost, and Karrion Kross was also getting the better of Sami Zayn. But I'm going to be honest, I like this. Sami Zayn is a Saudi Arabia guy. He's just beloved over there. The crowd was going crazy for his theme song, and they were even going crazy for Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is over. But the one thing with the finish, I will say, it was like, Karrion Kross was just beating Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn, haluva kick out of nowhere, it's over. I get that's kind of how, like, professional wrestling should work. Like, if you get hit with a finisher out of nowhere, it should stun you, and you should get pinned, but it was kind of unfortunate to just see it end like that. I do get the storyline, but this was good. I had no problems with this, and these two are feuding still on Monday Night Raw. As I'm recording this, I'm getting little Twitter updates, so this feud is far from over, and I do think Karrion Kross, he's been able to rebrand himself pretty good, but I don't know what his finisher is, which is always an issue. So if he can figure out, like, to make his finisher more of a staple, like how Sami Zayn is the haluva kick, then he can be good. But these two, their feud reigns on, and this one has for, decent match, pace that was expected, and yeah, that's what you got there. Now, number 4 match of the evening, singles match for the United States Championship, Solo Sikoa defeating Jacob Fatu, 12-minute, 5-second match. What? I mean, what? I was not expecting this. I was also not expecting for this to be freaking the Bloodline Rules match. I mean, we were getting the return of Tama Tonga. We had JC Mateo right now. We had the debut of Hikalau, who I believe is being rebranded as Tala Tonga. So, Bloodline 3.0 in full effect. They helped Solo Sikoa beat Jacob Fatu. And yes, the Bloodline is here to take over once again. Wow. Wow, I did not think they were going to pull the trigger on Sol Sikoa and Jacob Fatu this early, but they did. Their feud is red hot now, and Jacob Fatu is going to need some backups. Winky face, the Usos, maybe even Roman Reigns. I don't know, but I'm invested. I'm invested. A lot of people may be like, oh, they shouldn't have done this too soon. They shouldn't have done this in Saudi Arabia. They're definitely building up something bigger at SummerSlam. Plus, I thought the match was good. Fatu and Sikoa, they're great storytellers. Sol Sikoa is super serious yet super funny whenever he wants to be. And Jacob Fatu is such a menacing force. He's going to be fighting for the WWE Championship and World Heavyweight Championship in the coming months. This is a perfect good feud for him here. I'm okay giving Sol Sikoa the United States Championship 2 thumbs up from me. And yeah, it was funny. Michael Cole had no idea what was going on, though. I can't lie. Michael Cole was so confused for this match and the match we're about to talk about in a second, but he had no idea what was going on in this match, and it was so obvious and so funny. He was like, the return of Tonga. Tonga's here. He didn't even know who either of the guys were. It was pretty comical. So, Sol Sikoa, your new United States champion. We'll have to wait till SmackDown to see what comes of that. Then, the second to last match of the night was the Queen of the Ring tournament final, and very, very interesting here. Winner gets to take on Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, and Jade Cargill defeats Asuka in an 8.5-minute match. I would not have pegged this for being the shortest match of the night. I'd have thought maybe Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross for sure, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, but no. 8 minutes from these two, and the crowd was just not feeling it. You know, I get people are saying neither of them had any aura, if you will, in this match, but I just think the crowd had just sat through Sol Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. They love that. They were waiting for John Cena and CM Punk, which is what everyone paid for, and neither of these women are massive in Saudi Arabia. They already were given Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez. They don't need another women's championship match. It's just the region of the area. And these two just didn't deliver. You know, it was slow, it was sloppy. And the finish, maybe it's because the crowd wasn't cheering. Maybe it's probably it, but Jade Cargill hit her with a finisher, and it was such just an anticlimactic pin. And not only did they not count the 1, 2, 3, they didn't react when she won, and it was just kind of awkward. You're like, we should just get Jade out of the ring. But Jade Cargill gonna take on Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. I'm sure she'll beat her. Naomi will cash in. Those two will have a feud. Yeah, let's just forget this did happen. I'm not gonna let this one bad match, overshadow how good of a night it was. Because with that, we got into the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena, CM Punk, and just 26 minutes and 15 seconds of amazingness. And, John Cena started this heel run, with the Elimination Chamber. Amazing. Then the WrestleMania match was awful, okay? Randy Orton matchup at Backlash, okay. The R-Truth matchup, okay. Money Bank, triple six-man tag, decent. This has been the best match of the year for him. This has been easily the best match of the year, and CM Punk brought out the best in John Cena. And from CM Punk's amazing entrance to John Cena getting his ears cheered off with just a dumb black entrance. I mean, the crowd was loving this. Then these two lock up and start grappling, and the crowd is waving all their out of their lights or flashlights or wristbands or something in the air, but they were going ballistic. And I'm in the gym, and I'm like looking at this between reps. I literally stopped. I'm just watching my phone. I'm like, this is awesome. This is awesome. You could feel the animosity in the room, and they're hitting each other with their finishers. And John Cena hits an AAA. Then he hits a super AAA. And then CM Punk hits him with a go to sleep. And then CM Punk's doing AJ Lee's finish arm. And then they're diving out of the ring. They're going over the announce table. It was so action packed. Then it reached a point. You're like, okay, one of these guys is going to hit a finisher. John Cena goes at CM Punk. CM Punk moves out of the way. Down goes the ref. And right when the ref went down, you're like, oh my goodness, some shenanigans are about to take place. And Seth Rollins comes out. Burn it down goes off. Flames coming down. By the way, the Jumbotron at the Riyadh Saudi Arabia Stadium, amazing. This was a massive stadium, by the way. It felt like WrestleMania almost in this main event. And Seth Rollins comes out. He's in this flame. He looked like a young Kane in this, for goodness sakes. Breaker and Braun security. Or Braun and Bond, whatever. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker come out. Heyman's holding the briefcase, walking down to the ring, and then all hell breaks loose. Everyone starts going at it. And then you see John Cena and CM Punk teaming up to take out both these guys. Then Sami Zayn runs out to help, and Penta comes out to help, and Penta does like a freaking flip off the stage onto Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn, and then Bronson Reed gets AA'd. And by the way, that's a 300-pound boy. That is a heavy boy. And then CM Punk gets Seth Rollins out of there, and that's just these two going at it, CM Punk and John Cena, and they embrace, they shake hands, and then John Cena says, like, I'm sorry, I gotta do this, goes to low blow him. CM Punk reverses it, goes to hit the AA. Seth Rollins comes in, trying to hit John Cena. He moves, clips CM Punk, down goes CM Punk. John Cena throws Seth Rollins out, hits him with the pin, and John Cena retains. Cinema. Simply cinema. I mean, it was amazing. Slides right out of the ring, almost like the escape that happened at Money in the Bank 2011 when CM Punk walks up the ring, smirk on his face, and he's like, yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah, I'm that guy. Seth Rollins is pissed. Oh my goodness. So good. Truly so good. And John Cena, man, this is the part where we were like, this is make or break for John Cena in his heel run, and it's so red hot. It is so red hot. I think SummerSlam is going to be very weird. SummerSlam needs something different to it, because if we just run current Cody Rhodes and current John Cena, and by the way, John Cena is a heel all day, and Cody Rhodes is a babyface all day, Cody Rhodes is going to get booed, and John Cena is going to get cheered, and it's going to mix up the dynamic, and if Cody Rhodes beats John Cena, it is not going to get good reactions from the majority of the WWE fan base. So I am just so excited to see what happens. We have a month until SummerSlam. In the meantime, you get Saturday night's main event, WWE Women's Evolution. That's going to take up 2 weeks in July, and then you just get a month of build-up for SummerSlam for majority of feuds. And CM Punk, I'm thinking maybe he goes after World Heavyweight Championship with Gunther. Him and Seth Rollins might still have a program, but John Cena, Cody Rhodes, they're probably going to be kicking off their feud again. Amazing. Night of Champions gets a 8.8 out of 10. Really good PLA. Really good PLA. And when I look at it with some of the others throughout the year, it might be up there for the best WWE PLE of the year so far. And I'm really excited to see what we do with all of the championships and stuff. But were any of the results shocking? Solo Sikoa was the most shocking. It really was. And it was the only prediction I missed on, just because WWE just doesn't pull the trigger like that. It really doesn't. They really don't pull the trigger like that. So kudos to them for going after it, leaving us with a little shocking result there in John Cena, CM Punk. One of the best matches of the year so far. But yeah, next time we see you, Saturday night's main event. I think it's like the 40th Saturday night's main event or something. I have no idea what's pivoted as. I think it's just Saturday night's main event in Atlanta. But just got one matchup now booked between Goldberg and Gunther. And if Goldberg wins, I think the WWE Universe is going to lose their mind. So Gunther should beat him or beef up his resume and just continue to be the Gunther that we all love and know him for. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, enough with WWE, enough with TV shows. Let's talk about UFC 317, because it delivered. It delivered in all aspects. 7-5 on predictions. Rough time. But we nailed the co-main event, nailed the main event, started out good on the prelims. I'm not too mad about our predictions. So without doubt, let's get right on into it. We got 11 fights to get through as, Ewert and Christopher Ewert and Jackson McVeigh. Never happened because Christopher Ewert came in 10 pounds overweight. Yeah, he was promptly cut from the UFC, and they're like, Jackson McVeigh, we'll get you an opponent soon. But with that, let's get into our 11-fight card and recap all the action that went down. Kicking off this event, we headed to the men's heavyweight division as Hanada Diaz took on Alvin Hines. And let me just say, you know what? These two boys went at it. This wasn't a fight of the night. This wasn't a technical masterpiece, but these two boys were trying to take each other's heads off. And at the end of the day, Hanada Diaz takes home the unanimous decision victory. Good stuff for Hanada Diaz. He'll improve to 9-1, an impressive 3-1 in the UFC, and bounces back from his loss to Marcin Tybura. Alvin Hines will lose his UFC debut and his first special fight at 7-1 of a professional record for him. 112 significant strikes to 82 in favor of Diaz. Alvin Hines goes 1 of 10 on takedowns, only 5 seconds of control time. I mean, Diaz has number. Diaz pieced him up round 1. Diaz really pieced him up in round 2, 37 to 17 significant strikes. And then round 3, 43 to 40 significant strikes in favor of Diaz. These two boys were throwing to take each other's heads off. And props to Alvin Hines, man. 33 years old, looking to take out the 34-year-old Hanada Diaz. I mean, he was just going at him, man. He was throwing bombs. They were landing. He takes the final round, but it's not enough. Hanada Diaz gets it done. And just really good. Just really good. For all the boring heavyweight fights I watched, as much as we were expecting a quick knockout and we didn't get one, these two delivered. So this isn't going to be a fight of the night contender, fight of the year contender, but this is going to be regarded as a good match when I look back on this at our end of the year recap. Now, as for what's next for both of these gentlemen, I think Hernando Diaz deserves another crack at the rankings. You have your Martin Buday at 14, your Mick Parkin at 12. Let's give this guy another shot. Tai Tuivasa later in the year, whatever, we can do that. As for Alvin Hines, I hope they give him one more shot. I really hope they do. And, you have your Hamdi Abdul-Wahabs, your Muhammad Usmans, you have your winner of Ryan Spann and Lucas Brzeziak. You have so many options. Alvin Hines should get at least one more shot in the UFC because, to be honest, he took a guy in Hernando Diaz who was just fighting the number 10 guy in the world and really beat him up well. So I expect good things to come for both these two in their heavyweight futures in the UFC. Now, will Alvin get another win? That'll yet to be seen, but I do think Diaz has some potential. Following that, we headed to the men's welterweight division. We got our first finish of the night. Jacoby Smith, Nico Price, and Jacoby Smith came in minus 2,500 favorites. And Nico Price was like plus 1,400. And yeah, you get no shockers here. I mean, minus 1,400. You get no shockers here. Jacoby Smith destroys Nico Price. I do have to say props to Nico Price. Survived round one, even threw back a couple shots. But, round two came out. Then swarmed. Jacoby takes him down. Locks him a rear naked choke. Game over. Jacoby Smith gets his first career submission. How about that? Improves to 11-0. This guy's a problem. This guy's a legit problem. He's so freaking good. He's so freaking good, and he's now 2-0 in the year 2025. I mean, he might be debut fighter of the year. I don't know. I do have a list of my debut fighters of the year, and I think he might be on there for top one. I mean, this is 2 wins so far through the first 6 months, 2 great wins, and yeah, excellent work for Jacoby Smith coming in, only 29 years old. The future looks bright. And as for welterweight opponents, it's kind of just what type of opponent do we want to take on? Do we want to take on an Alex Morono, a Santiago Ponzinibbio, a Vicente Luque, these aging veterans, or do we want him to take on maybe more of a young gun of sorts? Maybe you throw in Gabe Green. Maybe we throw in Jeremiah Wells. There's multiple options of what you can do with Jacoby Smith, but I think whoever they give him next, this guy is 1 to 2 fights away from a ranked opponent. And to be honest, I don't want to throw him to the wolves here, but do I think Jacoby Smith could maybe beat Jeff Neal, Kevin Holland, Carlos Prates? Maybe. I don't want to speak too soon, but excellent win for Jacoby Smith. Big future ahead. As for Nico Price, unfortunate is all I gotta say. He's 16-9 now, 2-fight losing streak, 1 in 4 in his last 5. We can even go that he's 2-7 in his last 9. I think it's it for Nico. I truly think it's it. He's 35. It's not getting any better. If they did want to do a retirement fight for him, just because he's been with the company almost 10 years, you could set him up with an aged guy. Maybe, did Court McGee retire? Did he has to retire Court McGee? I can't remember, but if Court McGee doesn't retire, you could run those two in a retirement bout. Loser, or actually, Wonder Boy and Gabriel Bonfim might be coming up. I don't know, guys. I'm going to be honest. Nico Price, I think it's best if he just retires. It's not going to get any prettier from here. After that, lightweight division, Terrence McKinney, 55-second guillotine of a chest abortion. I knew he'd do it. It's not like I was shocked or anything, but I mean, the sheer just fact of him going across, taking him down, and then locking up guillotine choke from top mount, amazing. I mean, T-Rec, this is going to be his 17th career victory. Yes, 17th career victory, 9th career sub, making a 100% finish rate. Dude has never been the distance, and he's only ever been to round 2 twice in the UFC. I mean, he's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. 2-0 so far in 2025, both of them round 1 finishes. Combined time under 3 minutes of both of those fights. And my wonder is just, who do we match him up with next? Who can we give to Terrence McKinney to give a fun opponent? I'm going to be honest. This is going to be insane. I know he's not going to get this big of an opportunity, but Hinata Moicano versus Terrence McKinney, I think could be lots of fun. I think he's probably going to get more so of the Chase Hooper Alexander Hernandez loser, someone like that. But Terrence McKinney, love watching him. Domination. And by the way, he was born in Chicago. He's from Chicago. I say we throw him on the Chicago card. Get him a short notice opponent of sorts. Do it in August. Terrence McKinney, great stuff. As for Vyacheslav Borshev, 8-6 and with a draw in the UFC, 2-fight losing streak. That's probably it. It's probably it. I just don't think he's cut out for it. I'd say we send Vyacheslav to a unranked scene. Maybe he can bounce back there, but if he does stay, he's just gonna be fighting someone off of Day One's Contender Series. There really isn't anyone that comes to mind that's appetizing. Vyacheslav Borshev, his time in the UFC may have came to an end. Following that, women's flyweight action, Tracy Cortez, Vivian Araujo, and great bounce-back win for Tracy Cortez, beating the number 8 ranked Vivian Araujo. 30-27s across the board, 65 significant strikes to 22, 102 total strikes of 39, 3 of 5 on takedowns for just over 8 minutes of control time. And round 1, Tracy did attempt a submission, so we can't say she doesn't try and finish fights. Vivian was just able to survive it. But yes, good win for Tracy. She'll improve to 12-2 and bounces back from her fight main event against Rosa Namajunas last summer. Did everything she needed to. I mean, the submissions, the striking, anywhere this fight went, this was just the Tracy Cortez show. And honestly got more dominant. I mean, round 5, 30 significant strikes to 5, 54 total strikes to 7. Yeah, Tracy Cortez, good stuff. For Vivian Araujo, I mean, the win-loss continues. Vivian Araujo is now 38 years old. There isn't much left to be appetized for her. But Tracy Cortez back in the wing column. She'll be ranked number 8. Who's next for her? It's tough to say. I'm thinking Macy Barber maybe, but Macy Barber won't be back for a while. You could run her versus maybe Erin Blanchfield, her versus Manon Fiora, Alexa Grasso. She's now in the upper echelon of fighters in the women's flyweight division. As for Vivian Araujo, she'll be fighting down. I really like Wang Kong as a potential opponent. I think that could be a fun option. Or even Jacqueline Morum. Jacqueline Morum could be a good opponent for Vivian Araujo. But if not, Vivian Araujo can retire. She's never going to win a championship, sadly enough. But Tracy, she has lots of potential, and she picked up a win. Good stuff. And then Jose Delgado, Header Meal, my first incorrect prediction of the night. And son of a gun. Son of a gun, that's all I'm going to say. Wait a second. Did I predict 1, 2, 3, 4? I only predicted 4 matchups incorrectly. We went 7-4 on predictions. Okay, so 7-5. I did one for myself. We went 7-4. Not too bad. Jose Delgado, Hydra Meal. How about a 26-second head kick knockout? Not head kick, a knee knockout into some ground and pound. Jose Delgado runs through Hydra Meal, and you did not have thought that Hydra Meal was 11-0. I mean, dude was just blitzed, just absolutely ran through. He's coming off a win over William Gomez 2 months ago. Unreal, but Jose Delgado, he's legit. He is the real deal. 10-fight winning streak now, 2-0 on the year for 2025. Both of them round 1 knockouts. Look out, Jacoby Smith. Jose Delgado is coming for that debut fighter of the year and make it his 100% finish rate as well. Jose Delgado is a Peruvian assassin. No, he's not from Peru. Isn't someone else is from Peru that we just talked about? I think Jose's from Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, absolutely runs through Hydra Meal in 26 seconds. Beautiful work. Any other fight night, this is getting a performance bonus, but unfortunately, main card and the fight after this were just too good of other knockouts. Good stuff for Jose Delgado. Featherweight division, always loaded and always willing to take on new contenders. I'm thinking Pat Sabatini next for Jose Delgado. I'm thinking if Calvin Kattar stays after he loses to Steve Garcia Jr., you run that. I'm thinking even, I don't know. There's a lot of options at featherweight for Hydra Meal. He'll definitely have a bounce-back fight. I'll be curious to see how that one goes. I mean, he's 3-1 in the UFC. He's pretty good. I just think, I don't even know if either of these guys are going to get someone specifically better or specifically worse, like, if I'm being honest. And I think keep your mind open in case we're going to do an unranked matchup maybe, or it's tough to say, but Jose Delgado, momentum moving upwards. Hydra Meal, you've hit a block, and at 33 years old, you're going to need to overcome it, most definitely. So, yeah, best of luck. I saw a Twitter thing from Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland, and it was Khamzat Chimaev, flicking him off or something. And Hamzat says, "Sorry, bro. I don't know how to use Twitter. Wrong guy. I have no idea." Oh, I think it was he tried to tag Sean Strickland, but he tagged some random guy's account. Hamzat Javayev, you absolute beauty. But speaking of the men's middleweight division, perfect segue. Middleweight division, Gregory Rodriguez, Jack Hermansson. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I do want to say this, is that Jack Hermansson does not get off and finished. Jack Hermansson does not get off and finished. Now, despite out of his 9 losses, he's been finished 6 times. We had not seen him be finished in 6 years. It had been a long time since we had seen Hermansson. Actually, maybe Hermansson got finished by Roman Dolidze, now that I'm thinking of it. Just not in bad fashion. And Hermansson taking on Rodriguez is outstriking him. He's getting the better of exchanges. And then Gregory unloads with a hook, and Hermansson goes out cold. Just brutally cold. I mean, he's out like a light. And Herb Dean takes a sweet time. Rode an escalator down to stop that matchup. And Rodriguez landed some very unnecessary follow-up. But anyways, RoboCop, 10th knockout, 14th career finish, and he's so back. He is so back. What a nasty, nasty knockout. I mean, oh my goodness. Jack Hermansson was out for a while, too. I mean, he put him out cold, earned himself a $50K performance bonus. I mean, I knew Gregory was going to win, but to put his lights out that cold, first time fighting in over a year and a half, and yeah, Jack Hermansson might be time to go back to the independents. I'm just kidding. Jack Hermansson is probably going to be taking on someone of like a Bo Nickel, maybe going to be taking on a Andre Muniz, maybe even loser of Bruno Ferreira, and oh my gosh, who's the guy that Robert Whitaker beat? Ikram Akaserov, guys like that. Even Suitner Zaboyev, Brian Battle, winner of that, but Greg Rodriguez, man, middleweight division, I mean, what a bounce back from getting knocked out by Jared Cannonier too, might I say. It's tricky where to place him, but I would love Paulo Costa, Roman Kopilov, winner of that, even just Paulo Costa in general. I think Paulo Costa versus Greg Rodriguez is a fight to make. If you want to put him even farther up the chain, number 8 ranked Roman Dolidze is taking on number 9 ranked Anthony Hernandez, loser of that. Number 10 ranked Marvin Vettori is taking on number 11th ranked Brendan Allen, loser of that. RoboCop belongs in the rankings. That's weird to think. He's only 33. I mean, this dude looks old, and he's not that old. So, great knockout for Greg Rodriguez and prelims. Overall, I mean, I will say the only doozy, Tracy Cortez, Viviane Araújo, which I hate to just on the stipulation that all women's matches are boring, but besides that, all the other prelims were fantastic, and we had 3 round 1 finishes. You can't beat that. Good prelims from UFC 317, and unfortunately, guys, I missed the first 3 fights of the main card. I was traveling, I was drinking with my boys, having a good time, so I missed them all. So Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima, I did not see what happened, but from everything that I've heard, Felipe Lima won round 1, Peyton won the last 2, and it was a decisive 29-28 victory for the young lad, Peyton Talbot. And good bounce-back win for Peyton. He's 26 years old, had just been humbled by Raoni Barcelos. This is the exact win he needed to get. 59 significant strikes to 26, 97 total strikes to 37, defends 3. Defends actually 12 of 15 takedowns. He was taken out 3 times. Reversed even had more control time over Felipe Lima. So great stuff for Talbot, the Frank Ocean, maybe potential lover, getting it done. Good stuff, Peyton. Really, and I'm not too surprised. Felipe Lima, though, absolute dog. Let's not act like Felipe Lima isn't freaking talented. Peyton Talbot just had his number. The consensus of this was that Felipe Lima throwing too many spinning things, shooting bad takedowns. Peyton remained very concise, reversed things, kept the striking on his side, landed some power punches, and got it done. So Peyton Talbot right back in the conversation, and almost it's giving Joshua Van vibes. I don't think he's going to be like Joshua Van, but certainly I think he can bounce back pretty quicker with suffering a loss, and I don't really see Felipe Lima dropping too far. Raoni Barcelos. I'm referencing how Joshua Van lost to Charles Johnson. We're about to talk about this not even a year ago, and he's now the number 1 guy. I'm thinking Peyton Talbot lost in January to a veteran, and I think he can easily bounce back. Now, what do we do next with him? I think we need to build. I don't know who. I was mentioning that Damon Blackshear fight coming up. Winner of that could be pretty good. It's tricky because I do not think we should be giving him a certain style of opponent. Like, honestly, I know they shouldn't do it, but Raul Rosas Jr. versus Peyton Talbot would be kind of fantastic. So I'm actually going to throw my name and say that's what you should run next, but they probably should build up both of them. So maybe we hold off. As for Felipe Lima, he's legit. We'll bring him back. Against who? I don't know. But Felipe Lima will definitely be back. After that, lightweight division, Moicano, Billy Rayush, so much potential with this. So much potential. And just, didn't work out. No, did not work out. But number 9, Billy Rayush beats number 11 ranked Renato Moicano in boring fashion. Round 1. Renato goes out there, drops Beneil Dariush. It was like, what the heck is going on? Good stuff. And then Beneil turned to the grappling, and for some reason, Renato could not defend a takedown. 5 of 5 on takedowns from Beneil, 6 minutes of control time, including 4 minutes 46 seconds in round 2. These two atrocious in the striking. Moicano dropped Beneil. Other than that, just really bad. Really bad from these two. And the age showed for Beneil, and Moicano just gassed out, and it's heartbreaking. Really, it's heartbreaking because Moicano had so much potential. And now, 2-fight losing streak at 36. I don't know what he's going to do from here, man, to be honest. But for Beneil, 36 years old as well. Now he's in the win column. His losses are now to the number 1 and number 2 ranked guys, kind of his age, not too shabby. I think the big question is, what do we do next with these two? And like I said, Moicano versus Terrence McKinney would be so much fun. But if we actually look at the rankings, he's ranked number 11. Joel Alvarez, Benoit Saint Denis, Grant Dawson, guys like that are going to be who Moicano's taking on next. And as for Beneil, he cannot look up because Paddy Pimblett would beat him. The two Scaramount has far surpassed him since then. Dan Hooker's not it. But a guy, half Alpha Zeev, just came back, just got a win. How about we run for Zeev, Dariush? Perfect opportunity for one of those guys to move up. Or he can rematch Mateusz Gamrot. And I think Mateusz can get his lick back. So kind of a dull fight there, but not dull enough to the point where I think people were complaining. Just kind of like, these are two studs. These are two top 10 lightweights, and I feel like they should be fighting better than we expected of them. But then, ladies and gentlemen, following that, I am so sad I missed this. I am very sad I missed this. And I swear this happened last year where I missed a potential fight of the year contender. But Joshua Van, Brandon Royval just going to war. Actually became the first two fighters in UFC history to land 200 significant strikes on each other each. I cannot believe that is a real thing. But Joshua Van gets it done. Wow. Unreal. Van takes round 1, Royval round 2. It's going down to the wire round 3. Van lands a knockdown, becomes the deciding factor. Amazing. 29-28, 29-28, and Clemens Warner with a 30-27. Yeah, that's actually rigged. I kid you not, that is definitely rigged. Insane. Brandon Royval attempting 468. Insane. Here's another insane stat for you. Joshua Van, 66% accuracy on significant strikes. 204 of 305. Crazy. And, these two just throwing bombs at each other, doing anything they can to take each other out. 87 strikes in round 2 for Royval is crazy. Van taking 215 strikes, being absorbed and winning. Utterly insane. I feel like I should go back and rewatch this. I low-key feel like I should go back and rewatch it. I'm actually adding it to my notes. Rewatch Van versus Royval because I think I need to experience this. Because there's just a striking affair. And no takedowns even attempted. This is exactly what you look for in a UFC fight of this caliber. Insane. And Joshua Van is going to go ranked from number 12 to number 1 and is taking on Alexander Pantoja next. Insane. The win streak is at 5 now. And like I told you guys, he knocked out cold 20 seconds into round 3, July 13th, 2024, June 29th, 2025. Actually, I think it's going to be July 1st, 2025. So just under 12 days under a year, he will be ranked number 1 in the men's flyweight rankings. Royval will get bumped down to 2. You're actually going to get a huge bump. 10 guys are going to get bumped down 1 spot, but just surreal. So Joshua, and by the way, he's 3-0 in 2025, and his first fight was March 8th. Beats Ray Tazura, literally knocked Ray Tazura to the road to the UFC. Beats Bruno Silva, literally got Bruno Silva kicked out of the UFC, I'm pretty sure, and now beats Brandon Royval, who's everyone's been waiting for him to be beat. Insane, amazing work from Joshua Van. As for Brandon Royval, look, this guy is just nonstop action. He has not had a bad fight in the UFC, maybe one in 2022, but this is now 2 straight fight of the nights in a row. You know, this guy always brings it. And Brandon Royval, thank you. Thank you for taking this fight. And do not hang your head low. None whatsoever. This just is best for business, having a new guy challenge at the top. But who's Royval going to face? Well, you got Amir Albazi taking on Tatsuro Taira. You could run that back. Rebook Royval versus Manel Cape. You could rebook Royval versus Kai Kara France. You could give Royval the winner of Astua Mabayev and Ramazan Timuriev. Unlimited options. Whatever matchup they do, I'm not going to be surprised. If they do Royval versus Moreno, I might just off myself. But other than that, everything else, fantastic. And yeah, I will definitely have to rewatch this since people are saying this is currently the best fight of 2025. And yeah, I missed Gamrot and Hooker last year, and now I missed this one. Yeah, I swear, when I just don't watch the third fight on a UFC pay-per-view card, they have a fight of the night. Maybe that's what I need to start doing. But staying with the flyweights divisions, Pantoja, Kai Kara France going at it, co-main event. And there's just something so beautiful about the way Pantoja just dismantles opponents. It's just a science to it. It really is. Alexander Pantoja literally picks apart and destroys Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France, you got yourself an undisputed title shot. That's probably going to be the peak of your career. But I mean, 42 submission strikes at 38. We knew Kai Kara France would hang in there on the feet, but 70 total strikes, 57, 3 of 6 on takedowns, 7 minutes and 20 seconds control time, leads to a round 3 rear naked choke. Pantoja dominates. In round 1, 4 minutes, 45 seconds control time. Pantoja took him down and controlled him. Round 2, Kai kept it on the feet pretty well, but despite having the striking advantage, was outstruck by Pantoja. I think Pantoja is getting better with every fight. Round 3, Kai is merely getting the better of him, and yeah, like 15 seconds in, Pantoja takes him down, manages to get into back position, submit him. The Cannibal eats another one. Yeah, so real. Make this 8 wins now in a row for Alexander Pantoja. This is his 4th title defense. Let's be real, guys. He is not a number 9 pound-for-pound fighter, okay? We need to move him up in the rankings, because I think Ia should be 1. I think everyone kind of agrees Ia Tapir should be number 1 pound-for-pound. So what are you going to do? Ia moves up to 1, Islam to 2, Merab goes down to 3. What do we do with Pantoja? Pantoja, who's above him? Alex Pereira? No. Tom Aspinall at 8? No. Jack Del Mailena at 7? No. Volk at 6, you have to understand, this is not 2021, 2022 Volk. No. This is 2025 Volk. Pantoja has had 4 straight title defenses. Absolutely not. Move him up to number 6. Magomedov Ankalaev just won the belt. I understand he's not a crazy win streak. He just won the belt. Move Pantoja up. DDP at 4. I can see the case, but really, I think Alexander Pantoja should be either the 4 or 5 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Whatever is lower than that, I will not hear any arguments. It is utterly ridiculous. But I mean, just domination from Pantoja. And yeah, we have his next opponent in Joshua Van. And they squared off in the ring. And I kid you not, Van looks so ready, but Pantoja looks so unfazed. Like, okay, I'm taking on a 23-year-old kid. Yeah, going to be weird. But I don't know when they're going to do this. I'm thinking Pantoja's last fight was December. So that was a little 6-month change. You're going to see this in the fall. Probably going to see this in the fall, and I do think Joshua Van has a great opportunity to beat Pantoja, but I'm going to need to see the takedown defense. I'm going to need to see Joshua Van use the takedown defense, because right now, Kai Kara France, Kai Sakura, Brandon Royval, Steve Erceg, they all fall to the takedowns of Alexander Pantoja. Great work from Pantoja, and Kai Kara France, similar to Royval, anyone in the top 10, I can see a case for fighting. So really, I will not be shocked with anything. These two are, Royval and Kai Kara France, kind of in the same scenario where it's just like, where do we go from here? We'll have to see. But with that, we dove into our main event, and yeah, shocking is, you see, we knew it was going to be good. We predicted that Tapir would get a round 1 knockout. That is what we said was going to happen. But then it's like actually seeing it. It's actually watching him do it, and you're like, this just doesn't even feel real. It really doesn't. People are saying that Jack Del Mailena beating Bilal literally changed the timeline of the UFC, which is kind of true, because if Bilal would have retained, Islam wouldn't have moved up. Islam would have remained at lightweight and taken on Tapir, but instead, he moves up to welterweight, opens up the door for Charles Oliveira, and Tapir knocks out Charles Oliveira in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. To make matters even crazier, Charles Oliveira went to take down Tapir, and Tapir reversed it. It didn't officially take him down, but got on top of him in full mount position. Gets on the feet, they're striking at each other, and literally just gets clipped with a combo, left to the hook, like left was it left? Might have been right, actually. I clipped him with the right, and Charles didn't just get, like, TKO'd. He got KO'd cold. Ia lands 2 unnecessary follow-up shots. Oliveira is out cold on the floor in under 2.5 minutes. Wow. Just wow. Just wow. Ia Topuria 17-0. 15 of them finishes. He has had a performance or fight of the night bonus in every single fight since March of 2022. Utterly insane. Insane. 7 career knockouts now for Ia Topuria, and he has now knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira in a 3-fight stretch. Crazy. Utterly just simply crazy. Just insane. Tough loss for Charles. Nothing new, though. Really nothing new for Oliveira, but yeah, wow. I do feel bad for Charles, big Charles Oliveira fan, but man, sorry, Charles. Ia Topuria is just so fun to root for. Ia Topuria is my modern day McGregor, and I'm just pumped. I'm pumped to see what the future holds for him. But yes, he should be number 1 pound for pound. I know Islam is tied for the second longest UFC win streak of all time, but he's not a double champ. If Islam goes out and beats Jack Della Maddalena, he deserves to be double champ, and not double champ, pound for pound. But I kid you not, guys. Something big is coming. Something big is coming, and I don't know what it's going to be. But if Islam Makhachev beats Jack Della Maddalena, we are then going to have this scenario where Islam and Ia Topuria are both technically double champs. They both don't like each other, and depending what I think is going to happen is both these guys are going to want to get a defense in that weight class. Because Ia Topuria, they gave him 2 belts. They regard him as a double champ. They just don't want 2 divisions being held up. They saw it with DC. They saw it with McGregor. They saw it with Amanda Nunes. They've seen it with Henry Cejudo. It just doesn't work. So Ia Topuria is your unofficial double champion. But there's 2 options here. There's 2 options. I've seen them both. So there's 3 people at lightweight. There are 3 people at lightweight. There's Arman Tsarukyan, there's Justin Gaethje, and there's Paddy Pimblett. Now, Paddy's all the way down there at number 8, and he's probably going to get booted down to number 9 or something. I kid you not. But Paddy Pimblett holds such a good case. He just destroyed Michael Chandler, okay? He has a bigger cult following than, I'm pretty sure, let's count the guys in front of him. Mateusz Gamrot, Dan Hooker, Poirier, Holloway, and Gaethje are close. Same with Oliveira. Arman, way bigger than Arman. But he's so over in England, it's absolutely crazy. He's so over in England. And him and Ia have been talking for a while. They're both finally in the same weight class. I think they want to do this now, then instead of lose this. But apparently DDP announced they're going to run Gaethje versus Paddy, and the winner gets Ia Topuria, which I could also see happening. Now, I don't really want to see Justin Gaethje fight for another belt. I've seen Khabib dismantle him. I've seen Charles Oliveira dismantle him. I've seen Max Holloway dismantle him. Titles and Justin Gaethje just don't agree. But if he does beat Paddy, he'll be undeniable. The other man, Arman Tsarukyan, I just think is so unlucky. You know, he missed his title shot in January, has not taken another fight. I would have rather seen Arman take on Justin Gaethje, Paddy take on Ia. Winner of those face up. There's even a scenario where Volk comes down, or even Ia Topuria goes down to featherweight and wins back the belt against Volk. I don't know, but I say you run Paddy. Islam beats Jack Della Maddalena. We then do Islam versus either Kamaru Usman, Shavkat Rakhmonov, or the winner of Ian Gary and Sean Brady, which I think, guys, I kid you not. Here is the insane timeline we may live in. You may see Islam Makhachev beat Jack Della Maddalena, his title defense be against Ian Gary, Ia Topuria have a title defense against Paddy Pimblett, Ia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, both double champions, fight in, I don't know if they're going to fight at lightweight and a 160-pound super weight class. You may see them both fight the biggest super fight in UFC history. I don't know, but insane. Ia Topuria has opened up, he might be the GOAT. Ia Topuria might be up there in the GOAT conversation. I mean, he's 17-0. I mean, dude is insanely good. He really is. As for Charles, sweet Charles Oliveira, tough to say, man. Charles is unfortunately 35. You know, people forget about that, and I don't know what he's got to fight for. I think right now it's fan service. I really think it's fan service. And for Charles Oliveira, it just sucks he lives in the same world as Islam Makhachev and Topuria, who are just built statistically to beat him. They are strategically structured together by God to beat Charles Oliveira. But what's next for Charles? You know, he can take on Max Holloway. Win or lose against Dustin Poirier, he can take on Max Holloway. He can take on Dan Hooker. He can take on Mateusz Gamrot. He can take on Rafael Fiziev. He can rematch Michael Chandler. No, he's not going to do that. But, Charles can do whatever he wants. And you know what I really think we should do with Oliveira? Give him a fight night main event. Have it in Brazil. Have him fight someone on the come-up. Make it really exciting. Have him take on Joel Alvarez. Have him take on Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot, someone like that, and just give him a fight in front of a Brazilian home crowd. But, Charles, we will always love you. Ethiopia, you are truly, truly a savage. So I cannot wait to see what the UFC rankings are updated to. But, that's all we got on today's episode. We won't be back for a while. There is literally nothing to talk about for 4th of July weekend. I'll actually be going to a festival in Milwaukee, Summerfest, so we're going to be having a good time there. If you're there, come see me. I doubt anyone listens to this that's from there, but you never know. Always got to throw it out there. So, guys, once we're back, we'll be talking about UFC Nashville, Derek Lewis, Talishon Teixeira, Saturday night's main event. Maybe I will have watched a new show by then. Who knows? Maybe I've watched Squid Game Season 3, which is out apparently. Narcos, The Chosen. A lot of shows I've been recommended. But everyone, have an amazing 4th of July. Have an amazing week. And keep in touch with me, guys. I always love the support. And I know I've been saying forever I need to level this up. I genuinely need a plan. I need to formulate a plan of how I can get good Wi-Fi, record myself, make videos. I will find out a way, guys. I will do it for you. I will do it for myself. I will do it for my family. Guys, we're rambling. I'll catch you next time on The Surprise Jab Podcast.